Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Disarranged Talk Show. Joining you live from Be More on the D, your hosts, Matt and Andrew. Please like, subscribe, and comment.
What is going on, brother?
I want to bring up the point again, how much I love the intro with Matt and Andrew. And that's, I know it was an accident, but that's exactly how it was supposed to be.
Okay. So are you telling me that what are you trying to say?
I don't know. I'm just saying I like it.
It says your name first.
I'm
I'll tell you the truth. I was typing some notes tonight and I put in the intro, I was like, oh, I think it was on, if you look at our YouTube description, I was like, Matt and Andrew will talk about, and I was like, delete. I was like, Andrew and Matt will talk about, and I thought of this, so it's funny you brought that up.
Well, apparently the audience thought it was funny too. Hello to
thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate it. Welcome to Disarranged Talk Show. My name is Andrew. Joined with me is my best friend, sidekick, Matthew Gardner. Tonight, we thought it was very important just to get back on. It's been a couple weeks since we've been 2-3 weeks since we've had a show. We want you to know we're still out here. We're still grinding. We're still planning. So we figured an open conversation tonight just to check up, see how everybody's doing. So make sure you get active in the chat room. Make sure you drop some likes on whatever platform you're on. TikTok is watching us behind the scenes right now, which is really cool. So if you have a TikTok, head over to Disarranged Talk Show and check that out. And so take it away.
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah, we're out here. Hey, we got kids out in the audience tonight.
Yeah, so I mean, getting on tonight, we talked about this. Andrew and I are at a point right now in our lives. Our show is based around military transition, right? And we just so happen to be at a point in both of our lives that are so extremely busy that it's been very, very difficult for us to get together and plan the show. We've told you like 100 times, the planning of this show literally would take, I don't know what, like 6 hours out of our week. And so, it just happens right now. God's got us both on a path where, we're very, very busy. I've picked up additional responsibilities in my job. Andrew's going crazy in his job, as well as buying houses and all kinds of other stuff. So, but we thought it was important to come on tonight and let you guys know that we're still out here. We're still grinding. We're going to be planning shows. But we wanted to buddy check with all of you tonight and let you know we're still here and have an open conversation.
That's great. So, I think we mentioned something last time, but I said I've been shopping for homes. We'll start with this, I guess, man.
Sure. Go ahead.
Monday, I had showing for 3 homes. Literally that morning, one of them was off the market for under pending contract. So it left me with 2 homes in an area that it was ironic because the first time in this area, that's where I lived. Right. So one of the houses my realtor sent me, and it just didn't show well. On the picture, aesthetically, the outside, I just couldn't pick up what it was putting down. Mm-hmm. So he sent it to me again. He goes, we really should probably go look at this house. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I found a couple other houses in that area. And then again, one of them went under contract literally that morning. So the next 2 properties were like, okay, I think I'm going to put a bid on one of them, depending on how they show. Yeah. We went to the first one. As soon as we opened the door, I was like, all right. I was like, no. And so we did a good tour, and I don't even know really how to explain it, man. I just can't wait to be in it. I put in an offer in, and it was wild how it works. And this is actually a really good topic I didn't even think of until just right now, but
perfect.
As life for myself, I'm speaking about myself, has calmed down a little bit, and things are focused. I've had an opportunity really to think about how much the Marine Corps has given me, right? And
That's a great observation.
there's obviously there's a lot that anyone could think of, right? But in a different sense, here's the scenario. Monday, we see this house. I looked at my realtor. We looked at the other house. I was in it. I walked in it for 5 minutes, smelled like dog pee. And I was like, I'm not into doing this fixer upper.
Right.
So walk out, and I said, type up a bid. I'll think about the numbers on my way home.
Mm-hmm.
So I trying to keep as much money in my pocket for certain goals that I'm about to try to hit in this next quarter.
Yeah.
I can only get so competitive, and in a competitive market, when the inventory is so low, if you don't really have cash, like, people are getting walked over. So anyways,
I mean, literally, dude, if you're not like, it's so competitive, people are throwing what, 10 grand down or whatever. I mean, just
above that.
Or all cash for the house, right?
Yep, absolutely. So, coming in with straight conventional loans, like, above asking price, cash on hand, and me trying to be a little bit more conservative and nervous about shopping in this market, which, backtrack a little bit, I was nervous and talking to my parents. I was like, yo, like, should I be doing this? Or like, Andrew, when we bought our house, it was like 16%. So they're like, just go buy yourself a house. So
Just go, yeah.
anyways, long story short, 3 bids get dropped on this house that day. It had been on the market for 35 days, no action on it. The morning I go to see it, someone throws a bid, conventional loan, 10 above asking, no seller's help.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
That's what I said. So I talked to my realtor, and I was like, dude, listen, he goes, listen, you need to throw a bid in.
Right.
He's like, don't let that, scare you away. He goes, throw a bid in and let's just see what happens. I said, all right, copy. Came home, figured out my numbers, figured out how competitive I truly wanted to get.
Yeah.
And we threw it in. Come to find out, the realtor calls my realtor and says, listen, if you can get Andrew, which they better have said Mr. Turner. But anyways.
Shut up, bitch!
Come on.
If you can get your buyer to lower his seller's help by $1,500,
yeah,
I think I can put this in front of them because my father was a retired Marine. And I see this as, I understand that this is a Marine veteran.
Right.
And she goes, so if he can do that, I probably can just put this in front of them and try to see what they say. Well, in that time, another veteran offer, comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at my realtor. I told him, I was like, listen, just put this in there. And so I gave him a little statement of why I was trying to keep money in my pocket and what my goals were. Right. And so we submitted it at like 2:00 in the afternoon on Monday. Nothing. I'm walking to my car to go out to dinner. And I get the call from my realtor. He's like, congratulations. You just bought a house. And I was like, whoa, like, blew up. I was excited. And shout out Rodriguez. But what the deciding factor is, to wrap this all up, I know it's a little long-winded, but
no, it's fine.
Is the Marine Corps presented itself in such a manner that you would never have thought of, and I wasn't the best bid. There was 3 bids total. There was 2 bids better than mine, meaning more money would have been put in the pockets, of the sellers. And the reason why they went with my bid is because the listing agents, which has no ties to these people that I know of other than just a business relationship.
Right.
She presented it so that, hey, listen, my father was a retired Marine. She set the standard, and they took my freaking offer, dude. And I was
Congratulations,
like,
brother.
I was unbelievably happy.
Yeah.
It's been a fast week, 5
Yep.
days or whatever since everything. A lot of money spent, but dude, I was thinking today, so I had like a little bit of I had a business meeting this morning, and I was meeting with a gentleman, and I was just kind of telling him how life's kind of unfolded, and how, I feel that like my persistence in certain areas in life have just like really made me genuinely like enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Right. Like I mean, looking back on how fast my mind and heart and everything and emotions have been and gone, I'm like, man, like I enjoy like the sun in my eyes. I don't put sunglasses on anymore.
Hmm.
Like I'm really trying to work on the traffic aggression, like, and just get in the far right lane, dude. Just whatever happens, happens. When you get there, you get there. And
Right.
I was telling this gentleman today that, and he looked over at me and he goes, and he said this awesome like biblical term. He was a Jewish gentleman,
Hmm.
and he said something really, really cool. And I was thinking about it earlier, like bringing it up to talk about, but I was like, dude, no, you're gonna butcher it. And I just basically was talking about like, somebody that's failed so many times is the wisdom of life or whatever. And so he
Well,
said this to me, and I could tell his sincerity,
yeah.
and so it was just really, really cool, man. So that's kind of where I've been at the last few weeks, especially now, when like something that I never thought that I could do this outside of my divorce and all the failures with relationships, because I've always thought that I've had to depend on other people to like help me get to where I need to be,
Yeah.
and that's the complete opposite.
Absolutely. So if we rewind back to like, I think 5 episodes, right?
Mhm.
Where you sat here and were very emotional talking about the stage of your life that you were in.
Mhm.
We talked about how this time is going to be a blossoming
Yeah.
time in your life where, you know, one door is closed, another is now opening, and you're going to find out who Andrew is,
Yeah.
and what Andrew really wants as a man,
Mhm.
um, as a person. And it's been fun. It's been really fun to watch you kind of come into your own. And
Yeah.
um, I like that the conversations we've had, um, how you have really settled into, I am who I am. Not
Yeah.
not saying I I'm not going to try to better myself in certain
Right.
areas, but when I present myself to people or the opposite sex or whoever, I'm presenting myself and
Mhm.
I'm happy with myself. And if they don't like it, then kick rocks.
Mhm.
You know
So
what I mean?
so when I was married, the biggest thing that we did together when we bought the house, I was like, dude, I never thought in a million years that I would first off be able to be a part of something like that. That cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's a
It's
really
it
when you're
was
a kid, I mean, yeah, like buying a house was huge, and you do
yeah,
it. It's like one of the pinnacle things to do as an adult, right?
yeah,
You get a car, buy a house, get married, have a kid,
yeah,
those types of things.
yeah. I thought I was doing everything. I was like, cool, I'm on my way.
Right.
And that was quickly like kind of stripped from me. And I remember going through that, being like walking away, being like, woof. I, I know when this is going to happen again for the kid. And I, like I talked about probably a couple episodes ago, when I just randomly filled out this thing online, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden people started calling, and they're like, yo, like your shit's pretty good. I
Yeah.
was like, no one's ever told me that. So
In any way, shape, or form.
in any way, shape, or form. So I was just so anyway, I'm blessed, and I'm very happy that things are kind of unfolding the way they are, especially
Yes.
coming off a pretty shitty event. Partially why I also wanted to talk about and touch on the fact that it's like I'm glad that you actually brought it up. One of the last times that we spoke is like I was pretty wrecked.
Yeah.
And I hope that there's at least some people. I wish if this gets heard, this is what I'm excited to talk about is there's been a lot of times in my life when things like that have happened and it's completely identified me and ruined me in that moment, right?
Yes.
And I took the time, had the conversation, and just understood that I wasn't going to let this person do that because that person clearly wasn't worthy of me and my time.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
there's feelings there. There were feelings there,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody anymore in my life is going to be in a different what do I want to say, status of life and think that they can do certain things to people. And I want you to know it's not going to affect me anymore.
Right.
I can't let that shit affect me anymore. If people don't want to be a part of my life, that sucks, man, because it's going to be
say it with your chest.
Yeah, say it with your chest. And that's what I'm saying.
No, dude, talking about, total turnaround. First of all, St. Val was on here, talking about your dancing. So, and St. Val, I'm wearing a green hat. I don't know if you've been tested for color blindness or what, but I'm wearing a green hat. So
he probably doesn't have his portholes on, I bet.
yeah, put those nasty portholes on there.
Put those ones on, get them out of the case, get them out of the box.
I wish Hernandez was around to smack you right in the mouth.
And he would too. It'd be really cool.
No, but
St. Val can't really talk about my dancing. I think he's a little butthurt. Him being he's a dark green Marine, and a light green Marine just out dances him and performs him. So, yo, say it with your chest, St. Val.
No, I love, man, I loved how you talked about the failures in life and how they're not going to define you, right?
I'm done, dude. I'm done.
And that's like so huge, because even with me, like a lot of things that I've gone through in my life, especially failures, I've let those things define me as who I am as a person and as a man, more so than my successes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it goes right to the point of like not taking care of yourself.
Right.
Being in that hole and like absorbing it and identifying like internally, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a failure. I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah. And we've both been there. I think many a times. So, we both walked that road, and, it wasn't too long ago that, I was in your shoes on the other side of that and dealing with that kind of identified failure where I felt like, I don't know who I am, getting out of the Marine Corps after a decade and having relationships fail and readjusting to a new life. It's like, it's hard not to let those things define you, and then you start to learn through that alone time who you are as a man or a woman and what you really want. And I think most of all, you become comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
So you don't need somebody else to define you, right?
But yeah, absolutely. You don't need other people to define you, but there's things that, and this is my opinion strictly, I guess, there's pieces of the puzzle that need to be put in place for you in order for a modern day person to be able to find themselves and be comfortable in their skin. And the only reason I say that, because I've failed at a lot of different aspects of life, but I don't owe St. Val a jacket. Anyways, we'll talk about that after. You have to have certain things, and this puzzle piece could be different for everybody. For me, I needed a job that respected me, a job that, understood who I was and was willing to train me and do all these different things, whatever. I'm finding out that the relationship thing doesn't have to happen. right? A
That's
piece that I
amazing.
thought had to be there doesn't have to be there. What does that do? It makes my puzzle smaller.
Yes,
You
sir.
need to have stability within your own self and
Yes.
understand the confidence, so everybody does have different pieces that they're missing, but and they have to put together. But I think some of them are like this a standard 4-post deal where
Yeah.
you have to have certain foundational pieces to be able to then be like, you know what? Here's my confidence. I'm good now with all this other shit. And I'm going to move forward. And a
Yeah.
lot of it, and I would imagine, is the whole feeling of living paycheck to paycheck and
Yeah.
struggling with finances, dude. That was my entire adult life up until 10 months ago. No,
Yeah.
less than that, like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. And then, in doing that, like I said before, when we were doing the episode on relationships,
Mhm.
you look at yourself as a commodity, right?
Yeah.
Like you see yourself as a commodity, right? You see how good your life is and what you bring to the table. So when you meet other people, if they decide not to be a part of that journey with you, it's okay because you know what you bring to the table. And it is nice to have someone there. But
Mhm.
like you said, if it doesn't happen, you're gonna go on with your life. You're still gonna enjoy the sunshine, smell the roses, do all the things in life that Andrew wants to do.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, it's to get back to transitioning. This is what we started this show for, was to
Yeah.
show this journey, um, and really how long it can take to find yourself and all the different walks you go through, the low points, the high points, um, all that stuff, man. I mean,
Well,
it.
we started this a year and a half ago, and how many times throughout the year have we talked about how we've already felt better, right?
Mhm.
Oh man, I feel better about this. I feel better about this. I think we've done a pretty decent job of outlining, if we really went back and pulled out all the hours of content that we have, we probably could come up with a pretty legit stage thing and watch it progressively grow, because a lot of the little steps that we were taking in the beginning, like, okay, hey, we're on camera.
Right. Yeah.
Do I sound like an idiot? What do
Right.
we do with this?
Yes.
Those little things, we've come so far in terms of being creative and stepping outside of our own comfort zone to create, and just to have a talk show, whether 10 people watch, 100 people watch, or it's just you and me just bullshitting, because either way, it's
We're
going
gonna
to
do
happen,
it.
right?
Right.
So it's unique now. The progression that we're reporting on from when we first started is just I would love to see the percentage if there was one, right?
Right.
I think it's incredible, and I know in your life there's a lot of huge things happening, and a lot of good movement, a lot of good things. And so it's really cool to have a buddy, do we, especially we haven't really been able to connect much in the last probably week or two, right?
Yeah. I mean, so if I tell you guys, normally, before, I would say the past month, Andrew and I would literally sit here and talk. I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 hours a week on the computer.
Yeah,
I
easily.
mean, easily. And then on the phone 2-3 times a day, maybe 4 times.
Just throwing ideas. We already have an outline, what's going on. What do you think about this? No, let's take this out. God, micromanaging the process, which,
Yeah. But I mean, like I said in the beginning, life has sometimes it doesn't work out where you can do that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But that's a part of our journey too. And we're learning how to navigate through that path as well.
Well, I think there's a misperception in social media now that I mean, yes, there is a consistency thing to this game, right? Happy happy St. Patty's happy St. Patty's Day, guys.
So
Cheers. But yeah, hold on 2 seconds. There's there is a level of the consistency in this game that we're playing that has to happen, right? But
yeah,
from the beginning, to your point, Matt, we've said we're gonna show you the transition. We're going to show you the things. I don't think people understand, again, how much you can plan a show and record it, edit it, record it. You can do all that. It's a little bit different to be able to do it live and try to bring something to the table every week.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, Mr. Matthew Reinhardt is going to be our guest next week.
Yes, I can't wait. We're very happy. Very happy.
We're very happy. Matthew was our number one show to this date, the number one show.
Most viewed. Live.
Most viewed. Yeah. I mean, live and off of YouTube, I think almost 500 views.
Did he beat out for Murdoch's first?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Murdoch is still number one.
Still number one.
But he was definitely our fastest.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, yeah. So we look forward to chopping it up with him next week. Man.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of things have happened with him in the last shit since we've talked to him. So I'm excited to catch up with him, man. The podcast, YouTube, streaming community has been nothing but great to us.
Yes.
So I want to definitely acknowledge that. It's been a fun journey, dude. And I guess it's like probably good to report on how much we are planning and what we have coming up, and festivals and trying to get out in the public and meet the people. Like, we have some really, really cool things coming, and coming on tonight, and just making sure that we told you guys that was pretty important to us.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been crazy. Let me ask you this.
So,
what do you think about what's going on in the world today? I mean, right? Like, all this stuff that's on the news and
Matthew, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Can I just stop you?
Yeah.
Do you want to know where I get my news from every week?
Me?
Yes. So
dude, it's like we got Russian jets flying over. We got a Russian warship right outside of
show of force. It ain't gonna happen. It's a show of force, man.
We got aliens. Now they're talking about aliens. We got
because they don't want us to hear about anything else.
We got the crap in Palestine, Ohio.
Okay.
That's going on. We have the border crisis. We have all kinds of stuff that's going on right now.
I would be only interested to hear about what's actually moving around our country.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, any military forces flying around, I think it's a show of force. They're flexing. They're trying to figure out how far they can go. I think it's like anything, we're taught all this in the military.
Yeah.
They're gonna push. They're gonna see how far they can go, and if we don't step up and do something above and beyond that at some point, then bad things could probably happen, right? But
yeah, I don't think we've ever been this far, like down the road. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think we've ever been this far down the road with China, though. Where we're at, I think China definitely feels like we are at our weakest.
That's fine
right now.
Why? Okay, that's fine. We are. Bring the fight to our shores and see how weak we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's
right. Like, real talk. Like, bring it over here and see what the fuck happens.
Well, it's they're that's not how that would happen.
I know.
It would be an EMP strike which would shut us down.
Okay, well, here's my and listen, again, to all your history buffs out there, like, you're probably gonna take what I say. I don't know much about anything, but let me say this. I don't think it's like back in the day when we were going to war for for land and power and all this. Like, China can't survive without the people that purchase shit from the United States, considering they're 75% of our fucking economy. You can't turn around and look at something that's not built in China and you're starting like, how the hell they fit all that there? Right? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So when all this, like, they're going to invade, they're going to do this, they're going to shut us down. Okay, they're only going to hurt them. We're going to hurt their government and their power. Like, I just feel like it's a different type of war now that we're going to experience.
No,
rather than
completely. I'm honestly, I'm more worried about Russia And what I tell you when I tell
think
you,
Putin has a small penis, but
well,
that's just beside the point.
I don't know, but I can't confirm or deny. What I'm saying is, when we got into helping North Korea, Jesus, Ukraine,
Right.
He put up the guidelines basically of what is going to be considered an aggressive act,
But who is
right?
he? Who is he to put those up? And
He's
us not come back and be like, nah, chill out, little guy. That's not what this is. We're helping our friends out.
well, they have more nukes than us. I'm just saying, man. There is so if you are into news and like what's going on right now, it could be very overwhelming. It could be very, very. I mean, when we were younger in high school and stuff like that, you didn't get all this stuff now. I think about like how overwhelming it is on top of like all the normal everyday shit that people deal with, their wife or husband and kids and family crap and then work crap. And then every time you turn on the TV, it's like, are we going to go to war or, whatever it is? Are we going to are we drinking polluted water or, I mean,
isn't that what they want from us is like unrest? Like, isn't like that's the part of a psychological control is keeping people in a level of fear, right? Like I think what we've learned in the last few years, at least what I've learned, is the broad information, the mainstream information that we're being pumped with, you got to take with a grain of salt. Yes, things are bad. Things have always been bad. It's the process of information that we're able to share in an instant. Things have always been bad with Russia. We've always been on the fence with China. Like it's the fact of the information and how it's being built. I just think that you can't let that. I know because I know you're like you read into this stuff, you think about it, it like sits on your chest. And I'm literally,
a
this,
lot.
I'm the complete opposite. I have
Yeah,
no
you
idea
let
what's
things
going on in the world.
Yeah, we could be on like the doorstep of World War III, and
I'd have no clue.
you'd have no clue, and it wouldn't really matter. I mean, like
Because if it can't, because it wouldn't matter. Because if shit really popped off and I had to go, I'm done. All right, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
As long as my dog can come with me, I'm cool.
My thing is that I try not to get too deep into the rabbit hole of this stuff because I know how consuming mentally it can get to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like me, like I'll sit up all night and think about it and worry about it.
Yep.
And but at the same time, I want to stay informed. I don't want to be blind to what's going on. I don't want to be the last one to know. So I tell you what, man, I you know where I get my news?
Who?
TikTok. TikTok is the only avenue where you can find impartial news.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, you'll see reports on TikTok that you don't see on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. Yes. Yep.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
So I'd like to stay informed. I think I know things have always been testy with Russia and China, but I don't think things have ever been where they're at right now.
Right. Okay. Part of the reason I'm saying, and part of the reason what I'm saying is that if you have a leader that's perceived weak, people are going to push to see the boundaries they can go before that person either A, reacts or does not react. And it tells a lot about leadership, administrations, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk shit about our commander in chief. I'm just saying if you're perceived weak, which I believe he is, it just opens up a door for so many people to test our gangster. And like, quite honestly, man, come say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Bring it to the doorstep and let's see what happens. Because I'm telling you right now.
No, I'm not worried about that, and I don't think there would ever be like a head to head. I still know, the powers that be in other countries know that the U.S. Will dominate.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
100%, dude. We're always gonna be a powerhouse.
So,
As long again, we are at a weak point. I will not say that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I will not deny that. You know, like
What do
you
you
said when you first started talking about it. Go ahead.
What do you think of the digital money thing? That's kind of, what do you think of the banks closing and us going?
I think that's another fear propaganda
It's
bullshit.
going. It's they're rolling it out. I mean, you do your research. They're rolling it out. It's happening, right? But the thing is, like, it's definitely happening in the UK. They're closing banks, like,
Because
so.
there's too many people probably online banking and doing digital things like
Well, they
so
want to have one. They want to have one currency, right? They want to have one
throughout the
currency.
entire world.
I think so, dude. And this
Listen,
might be.
I don't know. I like.
It's
I
the new
think.
world order, brother. You don't believe in that, do you?
I just think. I feel like cash is always going to rule.
Not
I can't say that because that's probably. I'm just saying like.
not if our money's not worth anything anymore.
But something that's non-existent is.
Yeah, because
Really?
it's gonna wipe out.
But who's going to be in control of
The
turning it on and
government.
off?
The
Fuck
government.
off. Dude, listen.
Dude, look.
No, listen, I'm saying to this then. That's fine. Let them do what they want to do. I'm not going to live my life in fear because of that bullshit, because there'll always be a black market. There'll always be a
Yes.
stone that's fucking worth something for somebody else to trade for something. And
I
if
agree.
that's the world I have to live in, then guess what, dude?
You'll
I'm
do
masked
very
up,
well.
wrapped up, and I'm ready.
You'll
I
do
don't give
very
a
well in
shit.
that world.
I'm going to live my life. I'm not scared about some government coming in and taking my shit, dude. Whatever. Come get it. Come take it. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude.
I just I look at where we're at with everything that's going on, and where we're at as a country, like socially too, right? I mean, no one can deny that we are the most divided country.
Dude, there's third world country people that live in the jungle that have never had access to the Western world that hear stories about a land of people that commit suicide and don't understand why people would ever want to live there. Facts.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand why would you want to not live. I'm not saying this is we have a lot of issues that we can deal with. But I've said it before, we've talked about it before. This is the only land you can come and create something out of the ordinary, originally yours, and prosper and live your life and create it.
Without a doubt. America,
commercially, money wise, just like business. We've created that. Now, listen, it's the same thing. I could go to the jungle, I could live and prosper and create my wealth and do all that. It's the same type of thing. It's just we're in a completely different time zone.
right? No, without a doubt. I mean, does America have its faults? Absolutely.
100%.
Right? Like, anybody that says America is perfect or it doesn't have its faults is blind.
Ignorant.
Right? But it is still the only place that you can come to. And if you have ambition and you have drive and a goal, you can do anything you want to do in this country.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can.
Yep.
I mean, it's open for you.
Facts.
So I think that's always going to make. I know people laugh now when people say America is the greatest country in the world. People laugh. I still think it is, just for that very reason.
Yeah.
For that very reason, and for the fact that I know when the rubber hits the road, if we had to defend this land, Americans will defend their land more.
There'll be no divide.
No divide.
There will be no divide. There will be people in the back and there'll be people in the front, but the people in the front are all going to be different.
Yeah.
And the people in the back are going to see what it takes to fight for freedom. And our society would maybe that's what we need, man.
Wow.
And unfortunately, mad people would die. But dude, it's like anything in this society since we've seen in our history of war and terrorism's attacks is it takes something crazy like that to fucking pull people together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like we can't just be like, hey guys, like can we just talk about like no, like planes got to hit buildings, thousands of people have to die, thousands of more later on because of the effects of what happened had to die. But the conversation still isn't happening until that happens.
Yeah. It might be that might be the only thing that could possibly unify our country at this point, because I think you have such a
That's scary.
You have such a radical left and a radical right, more
Yep.
so. It used to be the Democrats and the Republicans, right? And the only thing that really separated them was a few different economic views, and Democrats believed in, gay marriage and pro-choice. There was a couple of things, they were different. Now it's so extreme on each side. I mean, so extreme.
Those extreme people, it's hard. They'll never see unless it's something extreme.
Yeah, you can't.
And that
I mean,
sucks.
there's no conversation to be had on either side. There's no conversation to be had, and it's like the 1%ers or whatever in the middle that really make up the vote.
Yeah.
Because there's that divide there. It might be 40% on each side, and then there's that little small percentage in the middle that have to pick and choose. And I just I don't think without something major that happens, it's going to unify our country the way it is, man. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Well,
we're gonna keep pushing along.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about persistence and resilience and all those things that we've talked about, especially the last few weeks, I feel like, and then sharing with everybody tonight, how much like the show does affect our lives, and we have to there's so much time that we have to put into this, and we're going to continue doing it, and we're going to continue trying to put out content for everybody and just have conversations and bring things to light. But regardless of the turmoil, man, this is where we're at. I'm happy to continue on to year 2 and really, really push and step outside our comfort zones. We have some kick-ass stuff that we want to share with everybody when the time is right, of what we've been planning, what we're talking about. So everybody that's been truly sticking along with us on social media platforms and just at least keeping in touch with us. I know our posts have been pretty sporadic lately just because, again, life happens, but
yeah,
we're being honest, we're being transparent, and we're going to continue on. We're out here, man. So we really do appreciate everybody that stuck around with us tonight live. And if you watch this later on and you made it to this point, thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
And I guess I want to end it like this, brother. There's nobody in your life that's ever going to be with you, whether it is an intimate relationship or a friendship, that will ever fill a void of something that you can't ultimately do yourself. Don't ever look on outside resources to try to fill something, and then nobody is above who you are. So take everything about yourself and fucking just kick ass and fly to the moon with it. You don't need anybody. When you get to a point that you want somebody in your life, that's where life truly, in my opinion, starts going. So thank you very much for watching tonight, everybody. We really appreciate it. And catch us next week, Friday, 8 p.m., same time, same place. But until then, a healthy network is a strong network. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you for joining us. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next.